First of all, my name is Hyo Jang-sung. It's quite difficult, so I just made my name in here, American style name, so Jenna. So people call me in here Jenna. So, and my years, yes, so my name is 27 years old. Yeah, and I just came here to 2018, the first for January. So now like fourth years, like I live in since 2018. I worked in Korea and then just travel like when I was a university student I traveled all over Europe and then I decided I can get some holiday in here Porto because Porto was my favorite city in among the Europe, so I just decided I will do the holiday in here 6 months and then I will go back to Korea. But when I came here and I think I can live in here, so that's why I decided to live in here. And I started the tourism company, like an agency. So I gather the people who come from Korea and then do the walking tour or the other petiscos tour, something like that. And yeah, I'm doing that like since 2018 to still now. And then after that, I realized that in Porto there are no restaurant in here. I mean Korean restaurant, and even if they sell the Korean food, the one is not real Korean food. So I want to do the real Korean food in here. So I think about then I'm gonna make a Korean restaurant in here, like a homemade style. So I started to find some place and then do the business in here. So I opened this restaurant in 2020 with the Corona. So we opened this restaurant after lockdown last year. So on May, finally we opened the restaurant in here. And so I'm still doing the tourist company and this restaurant in Siktak. Nothing I didn't like in here. That is the reason. Because the food and the weather and people and everything was okay. And just one thing, the rain a lot in the winter time, but it is okay because the other days are sunny. So in the beach also I like it. And for food also it's a little bit similar with Korean ingredients because of seafood and the meat and vegetarian also, fruits also. In Korea we use a lot of type of ingredients like seafood and vegetable and fruits, all of things. Even if tripas, the intents of the meat, intents of the pork, or like that. So food also really okay for me, and weather was perfect. And people who live in here, Portugal, they are really nice. This is common, opinions of my tourists as well. Like Korean people who travel in here, they always say to me, "Oh, Jana, here people are really nice and they are really kind like this." So, and I felt that also they are really warm heart. I mean, so there is nothing I didn't like in here. So. I was born in Seoul and I lived in Seoul the whole time. And normally I enjoy the food in Korea and my mother's food. So when I want to open here restaurant, I just be the confidence about for making the home style food. And there are lots of Korean food types like a bibimbap or japchae, chicken. So there are many things. But I'm not the professional cooker because I was art museum curator in Korea, but I really love to cook at all for myself. So and I enjoy the food with my Portuguese friends or my Korean friends in here, and I realized that I can do very well about the home style food. So my restaurant concept is home style food, like side dishes and soup and the main dishes like that. So. Yeah, that's all. I'm just doing what I can do. Meaning, 식탁 is the mesa, like for eating, so dining table. So when my mother or grandmother prepared the table, then they said like prepare the 식탁, like that. So okay, 식탁 is a really good meaning to eating and to be together. And normally Korean culture, we just eat whole together, and the side is here and there, and maybe put in the on the top, and there are rice bowl and soup bowl like that, and they eat whole together around the 식탁. So 식탁 means gather together, and mean of the table. So that is the, I think, perfect name for homestyle foods. That's all. A little bit nightmare because I'm not a professional cooker, and it was first time to cook like a lot for a lot of people at the same time. So now it's okay, but at that times my friends and friends came to here, so was like 9 people at the same times, and after them 4 people like that. So was really hard to make the same speed. So I need to make the same speed, but it is not possible for like initial the time. So was a little bit nightmare, but at the same time was really good because people really enjoy the food, and then they said like, oh, I want to try the other foods as well, like that. So and they really love the concept because I change the menu week by week, and we have the fixed menu as well. But people want to try the lots of type of food, so they really like that concept. So they say, oh, it's really good concept in here, and the food was really good. So I was really nervous, but that nightmare was end that time, and in a day. Yeah, that's why I put the table more, because so when I started here it was COVID as well, so I can just offset the 50% of people, so I just take off the tables. But nowadays I put the tables more, and I can cook a little bit faster than before. So people come again, and there are many user customer. So I was really happy when I reopened this moment, because we reopened the 19th, as you know, and then at the time yesterday, the people who came my restaurant was the usual customer when the first, so it was really good and was really proud of that. My favorite food, it's really hard. Actually I like to eat a little bit spicy food more than here, more than when I prepare normally in here 식탁, because Portuguese cannot handle real spicy food. I mean Korean way. So people gave up when they eat. So that's why I reduced the spicy level. But I really like spicy food, for example tteokbokki with a rice. Yes, that is really nice. Tteokbokki or kimchi-jjigae, that is a stew, and yes, something like that with a rice and good, the spice food. I think bibimbap, because that dishes are really those dishes are really good for vegetarian as well, and non-vegetarian as well. And bibimbap has a lot of ingredients like vegetables and the other things, and we put the other ingredients, so we can make whatever we want like that. Because bibimbap means mix it bowl. So bibimbap is really famous for people, and I think article also like that, and kimchi as well. Kimchi is really well-known food. And bibimbap, and second one is japchae. So the noodle is a little bit weird noodle, because that is come from patatas, sweet potato. So there's a little bit special noodles. So people really like it, and that one is also good for vegetarian. So those dishes are really good for vegetarian and non-vegetarian as well. In here restaurant
Or in general?
in general. For me, there is no hardest food to make it, but it's a little bit, how to say, annoying food to make it because there are many things inside. Then it is a little bit hard to make it because take a lot of times. It's not means like hardest to cooking, but take so long times to make it. That is kimchi. Kimchi is a very small things, but we need to cut all the cabbage and the salty. We need to put the salt and then put out of all the water, and then we need to make how to say that one, the sauce, not sauce, but the sauce, and we need to put together and take some times to make more good kimchi. So it's a little bit annoying to make it. So when I saw the people left kimchi, then it's really hard things to make it like that. But anyways, yeah, kimchi is the most annoying to make it, but also really good. So I cannot give up to make kimchi like homemade style. So. Dreams. Actually, when I opened this restaurant, I want to do the studio as well. So that's why our restaurant name is Siktak, Restaurant Koreana and Studio. Because I was art museum curator and I was doing the cultural event in Korea, and I realized that okay, so I have a space and I can do the can be the bridge for Portugal and Korea. Because I always met a Korean tourist, and at the same time I can meet Portuguese people. So I want to do the Portuguese. I want to do the Portuguese dishes for Korean, so like a cooking class. And on the other hand, I want to do the Korean dishes or Korean cultural things to the Portugal people. So I just learned some traditional sewing or traditional like making the ribbons or like making clothes or something like that, or drawing, traditional Korean drawing. I learned from Korea, and then I'm preparing to that type of things. So my dream is like can be a bridge from bridge to the other parts of the culture like Portugal and Korea. Because since I live in 2018, so I gonna be used to live in Portugal. So I know well than the normal Korean people about the Portugal culture or Portugal food, and then for sure I'm Korean, so I knew about well the Korean culture as well. So I want to be the bridge of it based on in here Portugal. Sometimes people say, "Oh, it's a little bit spicy," like that, and sometimes so it's a little bit hard. It's spicy. It's individual things. People can feel this is spicy, but same dishes, but for people, the other people, that is not spicy like this. So it's a little bit hard. My mission, how to say, find the point of the spicy level, and that one. And second one is it's a little bit hard to explain of Korean home style food because we eat together soup and side dishes and main dishes, but people always eat like a soup first and then like that because that is the cultural thing. So that one we need to explain about them more and more, but it's a little bit hard part as well. And food feedback, I think I tried several food in here, but people didn't like well was with a type of soup, but it's not soup. Like we have some food like with put the ingredients and lots of water, and that is kind of the main dishes. But people didn't like it, so I cannot do in here at all like that type of food. So it's my experience, and people in Portuguese or the other European people, they are not used to eat like that type of food. So that is my mission as well. So okay, what's more good dishes for Portuguese and at the same time Korean tourists? So I need to find that point. Yeah, in the last year, among June to August, I think until September, there are many people, many tourists from Germany or Netherlands or France as well, and who live in here. The other European who live in Porto, they also try in here. So. But most of them they already knew about the Korea or Korean food, and they already had an experience about the Korean food, and they find us and then came here. Well, I don't know well, but I hope so. And visiting Korea, it's a little bit hard, but they are get more interest about the Korea. So they ask about our life, like how about Korean life in there, and why you came here like that, why did you come here like that. So after they try the dishes, and then they want to try the other dishes, and then they want to know about the Korean more and more. So that is a really good sign for for visiting Korea. So yeah, maybe that is the good sign and green light maybe.